Hello everyone. I'd like to do a quick video update on the last video I posted about the GRA. Now, since I recorded that video, there has been a lot of developments in this story. Across the country there have been protests from London to Leeds, the Isle of Wight, Exeter, Manchester, Plymouth, Bristol, and more besides. Thousands of people have written to Boris Johnson, and thousands more have written to their MP. On July 22nd, two Labour MPs questioned Liz Truss, the Equalities Minister, in the Houses of Parliament. Nadia Whittome accused Liz Truss of quibbling on this issue, fanning the flames of populist hate. Shadow Equalities Minister Marsha de Cordova then followed up with, "The consultation closed in 2018, nearly 2 years ago. The government has still not published its response. Trans rights are human rights, and updating the GRA will help improve the lives of trans people." In response, Liz Truss promised not to roll back trans rights, but she did not publish a report on the consultation. Instead, this is what she had to say. She said that they will be responding to the consultation over the summer. And let me be absolutely clear, we will not be rolling back the rights of transgender people. It is important that transgender people are able to live their lives as they wish, without fear. But Parliament's not in session again until September. And Boris Johnson has promised, and then Liz Truss followed up, to say that the consultation results would be reported over the summer. Again, this has positive and negative connotations. She promises not to roll back on trans rights. Great. Absolutely amazing. But it depends what she classes as trans rights. She also promised to publish the results of the GRA consultation before the summer recess of Parliament. They promised to publish the results over the summer. Again, Parliament's in recess, so begs the question how they're going to do this. We just have to see what she actually says at this point, and if they actually publish it within the next year or so, it would be kind of surprising in a way. Shouldn't be, but that's the way it's been going. There was a story in the Daily Mail, take that how you will, that Boris Johnson's fiancée was the reason why they didn't make the commitment to actually roll back the trans rights. If that's true, I'd like to thank her, but it's also kind of worrying that that was the reason why. Not the thousands of people protesting, not the letters written to Boris Johnson and to MPs, not the outrage in newspapers, but Boris Johnson's fiancée. Either way, at this point, we just have to wait and see what happens. And once they make an announcement, we will react appropriately. Now, I was at two of the protests that happened over the last few weeks. And at Plymouth, I did read a speech. I'd like to finish this video off by reading that speech out, because there were some sound issues, and I'd like as many people as possible to hear what I actually had to say. Here's my speech. Hello everyone, my name is Juliet. I have lived as an out and proud trans woman for 2 years now. In theory, I should be able to apply for GRC. Yet I delayed changing my name because we were promised reform on the GRA. So I hope to change all my documentation at once. I also cannot get medical certification due to the extreme length of the waiting lists. We heard many stories and many impassioned pleas. We have heard trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary is valid. Many more times too. We've heard that so many times over the last 2 years, until you're blue, pink and white in the face. Black, purple and yellow too. They've heard us, and they've heard our allies too. But they don't care. It's time they heard not just our affirmations. It's time they heard what we need. I'd like to echo the words of Juno Dawson that she spoke in London. What we need isn't unreasonable. We need safety, we need healthcare, and we need recognition. For too long, anti-trans groups have painted us as aggressors, monsters, and something to be feared. Yet ONS data released recently shows trans people are twice as likely to be the victim of crime as a cis person. We are the victims, not the aggressors. We will not stand for this anymore. We demand our rights be protected, not rolled back, and we demand our safety. I've been on HRT for the last 3 months. Privately, as healthcare for trans people on the NHS is effectively non-existent for any trans person that's come out in the last 3 or 4 years. The waiting lists for the GRC are spiralling out of control, and I have been on the Laurel's waiting list for 28 months. And I'm sure there are people who have been waiting a lot longer than me. Gender-affirming care reduces the impact of mental health issues. It lessens the danger of self-harming and of suicide. Proper healthcare shouldn't be something we're demanding in 2020, but then neither should we be fighting for our rights to use a toilet. Earlier, I spoke to a journalist from BBC Spotlight. She asked what difference reforming the GRA would make to my day-to-day life. I had to explain it wouldn't make any. The changes proposed would grant us dignity at some of the most important moments in our lives. And ultimately, at our deaths. When we're applying for jobs, when we're getting married, and when we want to be remembered for who we truly were. It makes no difference to using a public toilet or a changing room. Instead of granting us a little more dignity and taking the humiliating and invasive process that I and many other trans people still currently face, instead of legally recognising non-binary people for who they really are, they are trying to roll back our rights we've had and peacefully used for 10 years. Human rights are for everyone. We should all be equal with no differences. We say no to hate. We say no to discrimination. We demand safety, we demand healthcare, and we demand recognition. Thank you to everyone who's watched this video, and thank you to everyone who watched the previous video too. I had a lot of positive feedback. I would like more comments and questions, so if you have any, please feel free to put them below. If you can like this video and share it, I would really appreciate that. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.